Do you think the market maybe made a little too much about the regulatory concern yesterday, or is maybe some of that worry and skepticism warranted?
I think some of that worry is warranted. As you mentioned, Apple was down a little bit yesterday. Google was down 6%. So I think, relatively speaking, that's probably right. Google and Facebook are probably at more risk than Apple. Apple had its Worldwide Developer Conference yesterday and talked about new software features, and privacy was again a big theme. So from a privacy standpoint, I think Apple still is in a better position. The main issue is around the App Store, and whether developers should have to work with the App Store, whether Apple deserves a 30% take. That's probably where the focus is going to be. But at this point, I think the stock has reacted probably about the way it should have. It's going to take a long time to see if something plays out here.
You know, you've got that, and of course you've got this, you might have heard about it, this trade dispute with China where tens of millions of iPhones are not only made but sold in China every year. I mean, are the scales both weighted against Apple's stock right now, Steve?
It does feel like there are a lot of headwinds for the company. I mean, this is not a great year for iPhone sales to begin with, and the company's kind of caught in the middle in China. Its sales in China have been affected. There's some signs they're beginning to come back a little bit there, but they're down year over year pretty significantly. And then there's the risk of more tariffs, which could include iPhones in the U.S. That could result in iPhone prices going up $100 to $150. We suggest maybe a 15% hit to earnings in that case. So there's a lot of uncertainty here. Apple actually got up to about a market multiple at its peak. Now it's back selling at a discount. So we think it's pretty fairly priced here.
Yeah, and the average price target of analysts across the board, you're at 200, but the average is even higher at 212, about 22% higher than the market is right now. I mean, I know you can't comment on your competitors, but do you believe that there's going to be a wave potentially of downgrades? I mean, you're already at hold. Most are at buy.
Well, we'll see. I think the worst is probably over for Apple. Earnings momentum actually is bottoming right now. So I don't think it's going to get a lot worse here unless the China trade war steps up another. But on the fundamentals, I don't think it's going to get too much worse. The problem is I don't think it's going to get too much better either. One of the things from the developer conference yesterday was a lot of cool new features, but very incremental. And we're still waiting for kind of that next big product from Apple, which looks like it might be smart glasses, but that could still be a year or two away. So I just don't see a major catalyst for the stock to get much above $200 in the short term.
Yeah, I mean, smart glasses, we've seen a few of those from other companies like Snapchat and Google maybe not perform the way that they had hoped. I mean, Apple investors better not be hoping, Steve, that the future of their investment is going to be based on smart glasses.
Well, probably not. I think wearables still is underestimated by the market. There's a lot of focus on Apple services, which is terrific, but we think wearables really could be the next growth driver. Right now it's the watch, but eventually it could be smart glasses and other kinds of health products. I should also mention that you were asking about the Justice Department and so forth. We had an interesting call with Professor Marshall Van Alstyne the other day, who is one of the leaders in thinking about platform companies like Apple and Google. His argument was that while there's probably some justification for the government getting involved here, that breaking up the companies doesn't make sense because you're eliminating the network effects that really benefit consumers. His view is that you're better off trying to get these platforms to compete. That is, maybe give Google access to Facebook's data and vice versa. My concern is that the government may end up doing the wrong things, even though perhaps they should be intervening.